Welcome back, one and all. I'm Digital Bacon. Joining me in the commentary booth for this second half is Face. It's a little bit of reunion from yesterday, my dude, and I am excited to hop into this. We're finally down to the top four teams. Everyone here is in the money, but of course, there is a big difference to coming first to coming fourth. And right now, let's start talking about those teams. Everyone at home just saw that winners finals, White Demons in game 5 being able to stop out the reverse sweep from Athletics. So White Demons are in the grand finals, and now we're looking at a little bit of a gauntlet run through the lower bracket. But Face, my dude, these other three teams there, we've seen Athletics, sure, but you choose Pesce and Game Fist, which is going to be our first match. What can you tell me about these guys?
Well, let's first go into the Italians. You choose Pesce. They've already split up. They didn't get the result they wanted in the international high tier scene. They didn't qualify for a regional, so they thought, well, let's change it up. Let's look for something else. But they decided to still play this tournament together. So I hope this is a good last run for them, and they've done very well. They, I think, lost an upper bracket 3 against White Demons, which in my opinion is no shame because White Demons is the team to beat here. And then they did win from AW3 Esports, which was one of the favorites here to make it to the final maybe. And but now they're up against Gamefist, and Gamefist are my boys. They're my homies. They're from Belgium. They have a Dutch player on the team as well, and there's one household name on that everybody recognizes: Bram the Swaggart. He's been here for years and years on end with different rosters around him, but this time he has two new talented players. He has Cheeseface, a Dutch player, and in my opinion, my favorite player to watch, Jay Waits, a very young, talented Belgian player who does crazy stuff in offense.
I was there thinking for a moment. Only recently we saw the lads on over at Game Fest. I think it was back in the winter split, actually making one of the regionals. I'm currently just looking back over it. I think it might have been full.
Yeah,
It was the
fall.
third full regional. Sorry, if time has just been crazy and there's so much Rocket League going on that, it feels like it was only yesterday. But yeah, Game Fest definitely at the level to pop on in. However, since winter, they sort of have dropped off a little bit, but they are still the benchmark for community teams. And community's not, a disregard to them, but it's just that sort of before you get to RLCS, you've got to beat Game Fist. If you can't beat Game Fist, you've got no hope in making RLCS. So right now, we've got the lads over on YouTube's Pesce as well, who are of that similar level, but they sort of have got big dreams. And we were talking about this, just me and you beforehand, where everything at the moment feels like it's RLCS or nothing because there's just so much Rocket League going on from Psyonix. So you can understand them wanting to break up with each other because they've got those aspirations to then be the next, Team Kesso to pop onto the scene, Galaxy Racer and all of that. But Gamefist, they've been slowly growing out. They know that just swapping players is not going to be an immediate fix, and they're looking to the future together. And this, for me, when you look at this iteration of roster, has actually probably been the longest trio from Game Fist ever, I think.
Probably. The longest standing player is Bram, hopping into the game immediately as well. He's been on this roster for, I think, the start of Game Fist almost. And he has been, I think, off the roster once, but was quickly back on it. He's the captain, he's the leader, he's the man that will get this team together and make it work. And then from a little bit of insider info, I know that Bram just lets Jay Waits and Cheeseface do whatever he wants and just sits back a little bit to make those two shine.
Yeah, Jay Waits for me is such a strong mechanical player. And Cheeseface is, whilst not as strong, has got great position and reaction times. Now that is what you want to open up this game.
What an opener. He lurks around, Bram cuts in, and then Cheeseface like, oh, I can go again. Beats Hyder to it, and lovely. What an opening. But it's only the opening. We're in the best of 5. These guys are coming from best of 3's lower runs, so it's going to be a long one compared to the previous series.
So, Face, what I want people to do, because we're only just getting into this right now. What? No. How has this been given?
I don't know. You would say that the Italians should have good communication together, because I know for a fact that Barist can talk English, but it's your standard Italian English, so understanding it is a little bit hard. So the roster move that they made is get BJ off of the team and add that monster, an Italian player, and you should say that communication should have gotten better, but it doesn't look like it.
So, a minute nearly gone on by, and Game Fist already 2-0 up. It is only game one. These are now onto best of fives. For everyone at home, the lower bracket was a best of three run up to this point, up to the semifinals, which then it goes to a best of five. So these guys do have that little, should we say, throwaway game. And of course, you don't ever want to be pushed onto match point as Jay Waits throws it up board. Cheeseface, that's going to bounce down, but Boris has read that so well. Dead Monster onto it, gets a beautiful clearance, runs it away, but the problem is that touch right there, that needed to be top right of the bin, otherwise they've just thrown that opportunity away.
Yeah, but give them some time. Give the fish some time into water to figure out what he can actually do and how he can swim. Because I think that they slowly will surely come back into it. Game Fist came out running, gave 2 quick punches, and now they're looking to hold on to it. And it's only game one. Like I said before, it's going to be a best of 5. And I think eventually, Pesce will do way better than they're showing right now. They're just getting used to the tempo.
Whilst I want to give them that time phase, they played through yesterday, they qualified through yesterday, and of course, we're in the lower bracket now on their, what, 5th match, I do believe? When are they going to be warmed up?
Yeah.
By this point, you've got to be firing all cinders.
Here you see the classic miscommunication that I talked about. Barist is on the sidewall, is going to center it, but instead of giving a slow touch so Dead Monster can reach it, he booms it across. So Dead Monster can't reach it, Barist can't reach it, Hyder is still rotating back, and Gabe is like, oh, thank you very much. That's an open net, a 3-0 for us.
Game Fist are always these opportunist team, though. Oh, Barist, however, now that has just brought them back within 2 and a possibility to turn it around. This was a very nice play. Finally, something convincing out of You Choose Pesce.
That pass from Dead Monster was perfect. He hits it to the top of the stadium, which it drops down immediately onto Barist, his car. That drop made it happen. Without that pass, there was not a goal. Now, they have to keep it up. They have to keep this momentum going. Be confident in themselves and see how far they can go. Barris with a good flick tries to get the dunk, but Game Fist, they're still pretty sure about their own case.
Yeah, Pesce didn't have options round the center. Hyder into corner, demoed, removed from the game for 3 seconds as Dead Monster in the back lines. That's been a little bit overextended as he throws it out. Good pick up by Hyder as he wants to chase it into the corner. Boris should be able to pick that up, throw it up for Hyder. He's got the connection, needs this finishing touch from Dead Monster, but look. Right there at Bram, what a save from the captain. Keep the team ahead. That was so important. But the work is not done just yet. Dead Monster pushing it into the corner. Hyder wanting to bounce out. Dead Monster trying to get bumps, trying to get demos across there. Doesn't find anything. Jay Waits high in the center. Wanted to just lay it up on a tee for Bram. Didn't quite work there. Cheeseface is massively overextended, but does recover it to the corner.
You see that You Choose Pesce's speed has gone up by so much here. Another one, ooh, almost found the net. They're confident in their own speed. They're getting clean beats over Game Fist, and that's what's giving them these opportunities. As long as they can keep up this pace, they might even be able to come back in this series, but they do have to watch out and not get overconfident in themselves. Wait, is that it? No, okay.
Nah, Jay Waits was there. Lucky though. That's the sort of position in which if you're 1 second slower or don't have that boost on the initial retreat, you've lost that and you look silly. But they've kept it at the same goal margin for the last minute and a half. However, it is You Choose back on the attack. Not going to be able to finish that off. Hyder with a pass into center is expecting Dead Monster ready to just jump on it. Not there. Good pass out. Look at Hyder on that back post. Exquisite play.
The 5 minutes have almost gone by, and I thought that You Choose Pesce had to warm up a little bit, and it feels like they are now used to the tempo. They're used to going instead of waiting. They did come, of course, from another lower bracket match, and while the tempo is always sometimes a little bit weird in those lower bracket matches where you don't really know what's going on, you don't have time to adapt to each other.
No.
But at least 5 minutes is enough for them to just get that going, and this kickoff goal will for sure, most likely at least, send them into overtime if they even can't finish it earlier.
Big mistake from Cheeseface there, just a fraction away from the ball, and of course Jay Waits at the end could not get that ball away as well. So 30 seconds left to go, and it is anyone's game. Of course, though, you choose Pesce on the attack. That's going to connect. And oh my, Game Fist have literally dropped this game on the floor. It's shattered, Face.
The speed that Game Face showed at the start, the sprint they took, they couldn't last long enough to keep it all the way across the finish line. And this is even game one, with the finish line is not even in sight yet. And it's just been, you choose Pesce, go, 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 go. Just beat them to it, find a good pass out. Hyder is winning for those, and they just turned this game around.
Game Fist, I think, just got a little bit overconfident. Took the foot off the pedal after 3 goals. And, well, you choose Pesce finally found their way back in and found their pace. Found the winning formula, but it's only 1 game out of 5, like you said, Face. And for me, I am super scared of Game Fist because they should have never dropped this game. Let's be quite frank about that. But at the same time, I'm quite excited for this series because it means it can go any way whatsoever, you know?
For sure, but like you said, Game Face shouldn't have dropped it. I don't know what the statistics would be in like a tournament format, but how often does a team drop a 3-0 lead? I think it's very unlikely, but also Game Face just deflated. They started so powerful and so strong, and slowly but surely they just ran out of gas. They didn't find the beats anymore. They might have not been confident enough or known where to go for, and well, it's a best of 5, so they have enough time. They're out of the best of 3s, but you choose Pesce. Where did they find that confidence? What turned it around for them?
I don't know, and it's weird as well because when you see a team that can pull something off that, it just makes you think they're crazy for breaking up after this tournament, right? Like, if you've got that mental fortitude to quickly turn a game like that around, you've clearly got something in you. But we have to also take into account that this is you choose Pesce that wants to go up and then beat, you know, your vitalities, your singularities, whoever is on that top level. Whereas Game Fist is an opponent that they probably know very well. So they probably know that playstyle inside and out. So we've got to give them that. It's probably a bit easier for them to turn a game like this around compared to in the RLCS regionals, just because they probably played against Game Fist, let's just say in the last, since the start of the year, 5 times at least, I would reckon. You know, scrims not even included.
Yeah. That's probably going to be the case, but their results against Game Fist probably are not an indicator. Oh, okay, I thought for a second Javis had it. It's probably not an indicator like why they broken up. They did not make day 3 in the last regional qualifier, and I think that's, well, to say it in the Zoomer language, a big yikes.
Well, talk about zooming. These guys really playing at a high pace. Cheeseface not going to be able to punish that back pass, but look at Bram keeping the ball stuck up in the corner. J-Wait's looking for a pass on out, trying to put it on out wide to Bram, and well, he's found his man. That's 1-0 to Game Fist.
Taking control by Game Fist, pushing the ball where they want it to be and not just shooting it or just giving it away instantly. They tried to stick to it, and it does kind of work for them. Also, again, we saw in the first game a few times that Bram turned around from that position. He did it again, and this time the pass came around. It looks like Game Fist just needs to be a little bit more confident in their offensive cuts, but what a save there. Is it over? Oh, shot, but it's still wide. UG's Pesce wants to tie it up immediately, but they cannot find the net.
Cheeseface with a long lunge downfield. J-Wait's bringing this under his realm of control, wanting the flip reset, but unfortunately, ball bounced off a little bit too far. Bram trying to force a 50-50. Cheeseface into the corner. Beats out one, steals the boost, but Hyder stepping on in. Cheeseface has somehow been able to rotate around onto it, but that pass up to Bram, not very convincing at all. Bram's trying to get back towards J-Wait's to recover something, but at the end, they're going to have to throw it on over to you choose and give up a bit of ground, give the ball on over and recollect themselves because they just didn't have any convincing control. That 50-50 nearly punishing.
Those offensive cuts we've seen again from Game Fist, where in their when they're playing offense and not rotating back but lurking around and seeing if there's an opportunity, has been working a great deal for them. Every single time I'm just like, I'm trying to save something and let's shot at that, I'm like, oh no, that's gonna be in. But every single time it just gets saved closely. It's a nice experience, but when do we get those passing plays again from Pesce? They're shooting right now, but the passing plays was brought them back in the last one.
they're feeling somewhat reserved and very patient back in their own
Yeah.
lines. That third man is very far back, which means they've got some defenses, naturally, with a third man all the way back, he shouldn't be at threat from any long balls thrown downfield. If you get a big clearance coming through, he should be able to resend it back down fairly quick. But your pressure is just not as convincing. Oh, that couldn't connect, and Dead Monster's going to be kicking himself because that would have been a beautiful finish. Boris wanted to cut across, but Cheeseface does get this off to safety.
And this 1-0 lead has been settling in for Game Fist. It looks like their defense is a little bit more control, a little bit more patience. They're waiting and finding the ball that they can go for, even passing it out to one of their teammates. This is the defense we were missing in the last game, where they just were sitting ducks, not knowing when to go, and even when they went, where to put the ball.
They're just taking it more standard in so many sense, like one after the other. They're allowing a player to move deep down to that midfield line when they're on defense. They've got an option to pass out to. Finally, Jay waits with an opportunity. It was a good idea on the pass, but Dead Monster predicted it well. Took the 50-50 scenario and came out with a head. Hyder with the block. Jay waits and somehow get a back pass all the way to Cheeseface, who wants to finish it off. Goes high up net. No one there to finish it off. Dead Monster does get off to the side, and Hyder will get a clearance.
Also be smart enough to steal that big books. Looks for maybe a demo backward pass. Bram is a little bit awkward. There comes Burris, gets saved by Cheeseface. Is there the shot? And yes, Hyder, he ties it up. You saw that the backboard was not covered here when that monster threw it high. Even though Bram could go, he was not in a good angle. And immediate capitalization by UT's Pesce. They recognized the flaw in defense and they exploit it to the maximum.
1 minute left. One apiece here. This is tantalizing right now. You choose Pesce. So close to moving on to match point, and Game Fist, of course, to tie it on up. The storyline is something else. Of course, Hyder looking for something else. It's a pass. Does meet with Dead Monster. It wasn't via Hyder, actually. It was through a clearance. So Dead Monster with great reactions and predictions. Hyder with a flat up shot towards net. He had Dead Monster in the center.
Oh, no.
Was trying to make his opponents overthink. Bram couldn't get the connection. Dead Monster somehow getting the block on through, just tanking this ball downfield. Doesn't come out with anything, but what is this pressure that somehow You Choose Pesce being gifted?
I am a little bit scared though, because UT's Pesce is very aggressive right now, and that save that Dead Monster make, that's not easy. Probably can't do that again if I would ask him to do it. And if they are as aggressive they are right now, then, well, they might slack a little bit too much in defense. That monster is going to try to find that 0-second goal, but he gets blocked by Cheeseface, and we go into OT, Bacon.
OT between these two community giants. Every single one of these players have been active in Rocket League for God knows how long. The tournaments like these seem to be theirs for the taking. Hence why even after announcing their breakup, you see teams like You Choose Pesce still compete with one another. Cheeseface, good throw downfield, but Dead Monster will stop it. Met by Jay Waits. Dead Monster not able to reach that, and Bram gets a block out. Jay Waits looking for Bram once again, and Hyder has done so well to get this ball under his control.
Oh, he still has it. Oh, but Jay Waits is coming in. I thought for a second he was there. There's another shot. Gets saved again. Looks like Bram is going to try to upset his own play. Will he get the flip reset? No, he'll go slow. Confusing the defense a little bit, getting a double commit out and getting a free ball to Cheeseface. That's just what Bram is thinking. I just have to make it hard for them. Let's get the ball to Jay Waits or Cheeseface, and they will do something very spectacular with it.
But over on the opposite side, You Choose Pesce thinking about demoing their opponents, removing them from the pitch. Already seen two come on out. Jay Waits on the ball, looking for a pass out towards center. Just trying to pull in Dead Monster. Does pull in Boris as well. Cheeseface with the shot down, but just does not have the source on it. No power behind that ball. Jay Waits trying to go for another. Is not found by him. Bram can't get it on target, but Cheeseface does. It took all three Musketeers, but eventually they slay their enemies.
Jay Waits just baits out two defenders. Bram trying to make the shot, but he barely doesn't make it. But that's why Cheeseface is there still as well. Jay Waits and Cheeseface, they're the two offensive powerhouse players, and eventually in the OT they make it work. But I'm gonna be honest here, I think that UT's Pesce should have taken this one.
Oh yeah, when you look at just how quick and creative their counterattacks were,
Hmm.
it's a surprise to me that only one goal was found. You know, they should have been able to find more. It's just coming down to they were way too reserved on their defensive third man, like we pointed out earlier. They just didn't want to send it down. So they actually created a stalemate themselves. They didn't want to take the risk, which I get. But that's the sort of strategy you pull out when you're, 3-1 up in the series, not when you're 1-1.
Yeah. Well, it means we're just gonna get more games between these two guys, which I think is gonna be a lovely thing in the first place. From YouTube's Pesce's side, I'm looking at Hyder. He's the one to step it up the most of the time when it comes to offensive plays, while Death Monster I think is more of a rock in defense. And as we saw on the Game Fist side, J-Waits is slowly but surely coming more in the series, getting another flip reset right here to make it awkward. And I'm looking for Bram and Cheeseface to back him. Okay, it's not in. I was gonna say, where's the backup?
So rarely do we just see long shots like that meet net these days. Like, it's getting to the point of I don't even try and hype them up because it's like, nah, that's going wide. There's no way it could be allowed into the net because they're such a surprise, right? But J-Wait's there, throwing this down to the corner. You could see Cheeseface was probably a little bit hurt as he's waiting in mid for the pass, but you just can't discredit. Get it to safety, get it to the corner. And right here, the control is with Game Fist because every single time you choose Pesce, throw it downfield, it's straight into a Game Fist man. So they're just looking to gain control of the boost and ground of the pitch right now, aren't they, over in Game Fist?
Yeah, they're trying to just play a little bit smarter. Like here, not immediately challenging Death Monster, but waiting until he has some backup. Cheeseface was still a little bit hesitant to go after J-Wiz tried to get him off the ball, but they're playing more control. Again here, Bram, he's not even going for the ball. He's just making sure that goes over his head so J-Wiz can get it. But that does mean that there has to be a stable backside. Eventually, J-Wiz does make it, but they're playing a little bit smarter on the side of Game Fist right now. But that does rely on their mechanical capability to follow up on each other.
Does indeed. Oh, that is not convincing at all. Boris needs to punish this. Goes high of net. Tried to pull on out Cheeseface. Cheeseface got the hit. J-Waits. It was a demo onto one of the Game Fist men. It was Cheeseface removed. So the second man wasn't able to follow him through. Brand just stuck in this corner. Pass on out towards center. It's high. Cheeseface looking for a pass on over to J-Waits, but Boris has done very well to get that lofted hit. Send it down to the mid. Of course, you've got pressure from both sides, but this is just turning into a midfield game. A stalemate bringing out, and demos like that could create an opportunity. Hyder wanted to remove the man. 50-50 blocked on out. Bram not going to be able to get the clearance. And finally, Hyder comes through for the first goal to You Choose Pesce.
When I saw Death Monster having the ball on his dominance, I was like, okay, this is over. We all know what Death Monster can do in a 1v1. He's just going to flick this top bins and we're going to be happy on the side of Pesce. And Game Fist like, we should probably not give that space to Death Monster. But they still managed to save it together. But the follow-up and the sheer commitment... Sometimes it does happen that these things go in, Bacon, as you can see.
Dad, you okay there, buddy? Looking a little sus right now. just saying, like, well, should be sitting in an airship or something right now because yikes, that's just an all-around bad decision. I don't know what was going on in his head there.
Well, the only thing you can do now for them is to move on and be like, okay, guys, it happened. We're 1-1. We just have to go back on offensive half and try to make this work. Reminiscing over a play like that is not going to help you win a series at all. And hopefully that's also going through the head of the Italians right there. But that monster back in his comfort zone, in defense, where he usually shines the most. He has some control. He gets the boost as well, but Cheeseface is smart enough to bump him out. He's like, I can do it as well, Cheeseface. Get over here, Bram.
J-Wait's going to be able to beat Boris, then J-Wait's somehow going to get the second goal for Game Fist. You look at this, 50-50 into Hyder, fair enough. But Boris going for the boost there is just not a good idea because the door was open on the inside from Hyder, wasn't it?
Yeah, the reason why he did that though is I think because Bram jumped for the ball and he didn't reach it. So Boris was like, oh, this is going to go to the corner. Bram's going to touch it. And then Bram doesn't touch it. He's like, ah, see, now I am out of position.
This has been just a weird and wonderful game in so many different ways. Bram, buddy, just somehow coming out golden here Dead Monster has just got no speed on him. He carries his momentum so well from the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that monster missed a big boost right there, but the moment of him trying to challenge, he realized he did not have boost. So he did jump, but nothing came out of the tank, and then was like, well, guys, unfortunate. But Hyder is not giving up yet. There's so much time on the clock. He's like, guys, we just have to get 2. That's all. It's not that much. See, here we can get the first one. Come on, Dad, shoot it. Good try.
Yeah, easy, just score. That's all you've got to do right now. Whereas on the opposite end, Game Fist are probably looking to just bunker down that defense, bring out demos like that, removing Boris. Jay Waite slowing down, pass 1, pass 2, into the corner with Dead Monster. He's hurting for boost right now. The shot towards net, Boris, the easy save, does meet Hyder, who turns onto it very well, but you can just see Game Fist right here aren't looking for a goal necessarily, but just to keep pressure going, just to keep the ball down their opponent's half, because that's the safest way to play.
Yeah, because they don't have to do anymore. They don't have to do anything anymore. They're up with 2 goals. Just keep it there. Don't overcommit. Nobody was going for the ball because there's no need to. Just make sure you keep the ball there, boost starve them, and just chill out. You're almost there. Get the 2-1 lead, get that match point, and then you will eventually maybe be able to close it out. But UG's Pesce isn't done yet. But if they want to play offense, they have to move across that midfield line. And nobody's challenging these balls.
Boris just got very lucky. Someone didn't want to step forward for the follow-up of the backboard. The counter-attack coming on through a little bit too quick for Game Fist. But yeah, you can clearly see they are just stalling this up, because the best way to win right now is just not to try and score for Game Fist, because you're putting yourself in risky situations by going for those attacks, because you just push yourself further forward. It feels counterintuitive in so many ways, but realistically, they just smothered U-Choose at the end and have pushed themselves onto series point. I am just so bewildered by this series so far, considering, you know, Game Face came out in game 1 with a 3-0 lead and then just threw it. The next 2 they come and take, and U-Choose Pesce, I would argue, have continuously looked the better of the 2 sides, but just drop it at the worst moments.
The 2 goals that were conceded were also goals you're like, oh, does it actually go in? Oh, wow. And those are, if that is the way you're getting scored upon, you have to definitely look at what are you doing in defense? What are you doing in the midfield? Why is this just rolling, and why is nobody back? And at their offensive side, there are also a few question marks. They had 12 shots that game. 12. And, well, as we can count, not 12 went in. Of course, all 12 don't have to go in, but at least more. I think they scored 1 there. Maybe, yeah, 1. There was 3-1. So they scored 1, and I'm like, if you shoot 12 times and you score 1 time, there's something going wrong somewhere.
And this isn't to bag on either of the sides, because they're 2 great teams. It's just those sort of different play styles come into it. U-Choose Pesce are all about speed, that just constant pressure, whereas Game Fist have been playing those counter-attacks and really catching U-Choose off perfectly. It's got to be said, but yeah, just U-Choose Pesce should have the sort of style that wins out in these situations. They're just little slip-ups which are really causing them, and well done. It's the opportunist moments coming out from Game Fist, but that is the caliber we expect from U-Choose Pesce. Dead Monster coming through with an incredible play.
Dead Monster makes the car switch to the Fennec. Maybe that's all that they needed to make it happen here. What a great double tap. And to get back to that point that you went on earlier, Bacon, I think that Brandon's leadership skills and his experience in this kind of level of play is making it so much easier for Cheeseface and J-Ways to play around that. Hello?
Well, we're going to be needing to see those leadership skills now, because they're already 2-0 down. Fantastic pass from Dead Monster over towards Boris. So often do you see a player in Dead Monster's position just go straight for net there or try to pass it off the backboard, but no. To just give it a little bit of extra sauce, to put a little bit more power onto it, speed up the ball, so that the shot coming on through from Boris is wicked fast. Is such a good play.
I don't remember, but there was but there was something on Twitter going on where Dead Monster, if he plays with the Fennec, they can't lose. I think it was that, or it was with the Dominus, either or. But he's driving the Fennec, and I'm pretty convinced by now that if he plays Fennec, he cannot lose, because he's been looking amazing this game. Again, what a beautiful pass out. Boris couldn't make it to score, but Dead Monster been stepping up this game.
Someone has turned the winning switch on for you choose Pesce and Game Fist. You've got to somehow find the flicker, find the remote, and turn it back off because this is looking scary. J-Waits 50-50 is pushed out wide. Cheeseface will get a touch. Looking for J-Waits once again. The pass up, it needs to be followed through, but Hyder's there first. Cheeseface just easily stepped over. Big demo coming on out as well. With Bram removed, Cheeseface only just getting to that ball in time, but he's not able to take it further downfield. It's cut out. You choose Pesce with so much pressure now, bringing the demos through as well. Game Fist somewhat struggling, somewhat panicking. They need just a little bit more, just like 10 extra boosts to give them pace so that they can break away.
Yeah, just take a look at the boost counts. Every single time, like last 10, 15 seconds, I look at the boost count. Every single one of Game Fist for 10, 15 seconds was in the red. Nobody had boost. Well, everybody on the side of Pesce was in the blue. They were like, yeah, well, we chilling. We have 50 boost. We can do whatever we want. Well, Game Fist was locked up, but they did found their defensive clear. They got it to the defensive side of Pesce. All picked up boost, and now they're looking to make some pressure.
Yeah, Game Fist did really well, and it even comes down to simple moments like the pass out to the wall there on over to, I believe it was Bram, to then get the clearance downfield just to buy a bit of time. And it's happened again. That's the third goal for Game Fist where, like, that just should not be a goal. They take those.
Burris is going up like he is blocking the shot there from, I think it was J-Wade. So Jay was like, yeah, I can't touch that. And then, I don't know who it was, but someone was sitting on the backboard as well. I was like, yeah, I'll get it if you don't. Oh, wait. Nobody touched it. It just flops in. That's not the way you want to go. And that's what's like, that's not the way we're going to go. We're going to go to that game 5, and we're going to take that goal.
Hashtag redeemed right now for Dead Monster. And you choose Pesce as, yeah, that just brings it on back. The hurt before, but you choose Pesce have got to be careful because with every kickoff, it sort of resets the playing field, and they're only 2 goals up. Game Fist can turn this around right now. Boris being to the ball by Cheeseface onto the backboard, a flyby. So Bram and Cheeseface gets in the bump. The shot put on Cheeseface is there, and that was a great play coming out from Game Fist.
Beautiful pass from Bram to the side. His shot was not on target, but immediate follow by J-Waits and Cheeseface. Cheeseface just barely beats him to the ball, but that is confidence. That's knowing that this is gonna be opportunity to score, and they don't think a second time to go. They even like to double commit on that because, like, if I don't get it, my team will get it, will for sure score here.
Oh, Boris has somehow kept a hold of it. Brought Bram into action. Hyder's trying to get it past, but Dead Monster was just on the right-hand side, shadowing. He didn't offer up a man in the center because that's where his rotation should have gone into. So that just begs the question. You choose Pesce going more reserved once again, looking to just stall this out on 3-2. Game Fist on the attack. Go on.
I'm going to ask you the question. Should Dead Monster be behind there, or should the ball have gone to Dead Monster behind him instead of Hyder pushing it?
You've just given 2 options, which were way better than what was actually happening. And this is much better. If you're going for a shadow play, you do pull this on out. Dead Monster just being called off the ball, goes to the demo. You've got a smoke screen there, and Bram can't really see what's coming in. And then that shot placement was beautiful.
The awareness that Dead Monster has to have there is like, I am first to this ball, but Boris is also first to this ball, so I can leave the ball and just get a bump. It's free. And when he does that, he makes it so much easier for Boris to shoot than it would have been for himself to shoot. It's an immaculate play.
Like, one knows Boris isn't first to the ball there traditionally. It's just because Dead Monster's so early to that ball, it's stupid for the defense to come in and challenge it. So they just stay back, keep 2 players in net, because then you're covering more ground, right? Dead Monster, knowing that, has just won the mental game and left it. So Game Fist were caught with their trousers down in that scenario. Just had no options.
Well, you do have an option here with Cheeseface. Gets it past one. He cannot follow it himself, but could there be a pass infield? No, we just push it. And one of the goalies got demoed. No, it was Bram who got demoed. And now the counterattack Hyder. He's like, I want to close this out. Let's get one more just to be sure that we're safe. That Monster faking here with 0 boost, just flying by and like, I'm gonna touch it, and eventually does.
We're going to game 5, Face. Like,
Yes.
I have no idea where that came from in this series, but we're going to game 5, and that excites me greatly. Dev Monster just going to get a block out, potentially give You Choose Pesce an opportunity at that fib, which comes on through. What an angle.
If that monster switches his car again after this game, I don't know what he's been doing, because this Fennec is doing wonders for him. He's hitting everything towards the net. The passes are great. He's even smarter in the car for some reason.
And I mean, it's always he came in off the Dominus, right, beforehand,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Yeah.
Now, I get that because you're changing up hitboxes, so you can do some slightly different things. It's really more just what you're comfortable with. There's not a massive difference, right?
Yeah.
But as a coach, do you actually like endorse that behavior for your players, or do you not want them to get into that sort of pseudoscience area where they feel they can only play good on a Fennec, they can't play the Octane or whatever? Because that's got to be tricky territory, right?
Some players do have it. I don't go too deep into it because I'm like, it's just a superstitious thing. And if you believe you're gonna play better on another card, just play the other card. There was once a statistical like analysis made on Reddit of a guy that did everything for all the RLCS teams and checked if like car switches actually win. In EU, the win percentage for a car switch was 47%. In NA, it was a little bit higher than 50. But Illusion had a win percent of 93% if he switched car.
That is super odd, 'cause I would normally associate switching car as, you're going to be the losing team because you're focusing on the wrong area. So 47% makes sense to me, right? I would have probably predicted it'd be closer towards the 40%. But Illusion? Like, what on earth is that? I would think the only one to throw that stat into, a mixer would be Flakes. And talk about throwing it into a mixer, no one was expecting Bram to be able to get this. What?
Bram is the player on GameFist who is there to make sure that Cheeseface and J-Waits can do whatever they want and he will fill in the blanks. If Bram is scoring that goal, you're not going to beat GameFist today.
Yeah, something's going terribly wrong when Bram's scoring. Love Brams, of course, but yeah, you just don't expect it.
Brams can score, but if he's scoring a 1v3 play, then you have to seriously question yourself how your odds on this game.
Well, for people that are tuning in, they're used to the RLCS, right? And this is their first time seeing Rival Esports and these players or these teams. Take the comparison to Violent Panda. If Violent Panda is scoring, you know something's going wrong with Dignitas. It's the same here with Game Fist.
But we've seen big comebacks from Yuki's Pesce, and I also noticed that... Sorry, something flaring up. I also noticed that Dead Monster is still in his unbeaten Fennec, and I expect more from it, and I also expect for him to at least score 1 goal this game.
Definitely expect You Choose Pesce to try and tie this one up, but, well, that job has just got more difficult. J-Ways with a brilliant read right here, and punishes Dead Monster for not being able to get the touch.
Yeah, that is painful. Both defenders rotating on ball side, and it's a harder time to get the ball if you're on ball side, but both just don't get a touch on it. And 2-0 is still doable for Pesce. There's still 3 minutes on the clock. It's more than doable. But those mistakes in defense cost you a lot and probably will cost you this series.
And Game Fist right now, after game 1 anyway, know that a 3-goal lead is not safe. So they've got to be looking for 4. They've got to be looking for more goals. Whilst also trying to batten down the hatches. That was weird control coming out from You Choose in the center. But Bram's on the ball once again. He just wanted to throw it high and did fairly well on it. Good block out from J-Waits to deny the strike. Oh, Cheeseface was so close to getting onto that. But Bram hitting this out to center is dangerous. Hyder was there, and J-Waits just being Hyder to the second touch is everything in that play.
And right now, a minute has gone by, and Game Fist is still up. They're happy with how things are going. They feel still in control, and that Bram hit there, even though you call it dangerous, he was so fast, and he needed to be, because one of the UHG Pesce players was behind him, and I was like, he was going to center this. And right now, Game Fist looks comfortable. They're like, okay, guys, let's play it out. It's a 2-goal lead. It should be enough if we don't overextend ourselves.
Bram has been popping today, it's got to be said. Like, he has really stepped it up. what he's doing. Just simple things like clearances there to get so much power on the swipe across is just great. And J Waits putting this out towards center. You can see they're just looking to control it in the corner. That 50-50 out should be picked up by Cheeseface and is well followed through by J Waits. Gamefish just have full control at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like UG Special just can't even reach the ball. If they wanted to, they can get maybe like one touch, but immediately someone from Games is like, yeah, you got one, now it's our turn again. It feels like UG Special can't get out, they don't know where to pick the ball up, they're bumping each other, and they might not even find one this game, which is very surprising to me.
The only answer that you choose Pesce sort of have is to slow it down into moments like that from Dead Monster, but then you're just running the risk because where you've got no boost. Because look at the numbers quite often. Boris has just picked up 100. But yeah, and you can see Dead Monster has been on 47 and is starting to pick up now, but they've been very conservative with their boost because they know they don't have control, they don't have the speed. If they slow things down, it is going to be very difficult to pick it up once again. You can see they're all on attack super low, and Game Fist are just comfortable.
And with 30 seconds on the clock, it looks like Game Fist is going to take it. There was a very good save there earlier by Cheeseface on a shot of Dead Monster. That could have been the one that they needed, but Game Fist, they look into control, they look composed, they know that they're almost there. Even this one won't go in because Jay with saves, gets it past one. 50's a second, he's just creating so much time. Here may be an opportunity for burst, but again, Bram is there to save. And with this ball ending up in the middle, there's a shot, Dead Monster can't get it. And J-Wade seals the deal with a 3-0 lead. Game Fist will surely move on now.
Good punishment coming out from Game Fist. You choose Pesce, had to full send into that. 20 seconds left to go, 2 goals. You've got to go for that play right there and then a kickoff. Unfortunately, it didn't work this time, and quite frankly, it rarely ever does. But it's the only way you're going to get a win, and you've got to take the gamble. Game Fist going to be taking the lower semi-finals, moving into the lower finals against Athletics. And boy, oh boy, if they weren't ready beforehand, they definitely are ready now.
And I want to highlight UG Special once more because, well, this will be the last time we'll see them today. There are moments of brilliance for them. There are moments where they play so well that you're like, well, they're just going to steamroll from this part on, right? The game where that monster switched into the Fennec, he played amazing. I've not seen him play that well in this whole series, and it did not translate into the last game, even though there were still a few good moments. And I am sad to see a team like this disband because I do like teams that are all from the same nationality, like full French, full Spanish, full Italian teams. And I am just sad to see one of those projects just like being thrown in the bin.
Yeah, it is definitely sad indeed, especially if you choose Pesce, who started their day off back in round 1 in the upper bracket, taking down Game Fist 3-1. So Game Fist get some revenge, and it is sweet. But next up, guys, we've got Athletics Esports versus Game Fist here on the Rival Esports channel. So don't go anywhere. After this break, we'll be bringing you even more action.